Most of the products that we used of substandard quality, rather, not minding where they come from. First and foremost, like, what do you have to say about this? Were you surprised in any way?
No, I'm not. I'm not surprised at all. It's nothing new. It's this has been happening since before I was born. It's just that I would say that the proliferation of these kinds of goods have been exacerbated by the economic situation of, Nigeria, right? But it's not new, and I've been doing this media work or radio work for a long time, and many times I've had to criticize agencies like NAFDAC and SON, for being very, they're not doing what they're supposed to do. I'll get into that really, but to answer your question, it's no surprise that this is happening. And for me personally, I'm concerned about what I eat. I'm concerned about what I bring into my home. And so it's a standing understanding in my home that we just don't go into the market and buy anything without verifications. You have to verify everything you buy. You see me in the store, you see me reading labels, looking at the company that made the particular products I'm trying to buy, when they were made and all of that. I'm very particular about these things because I know that we are actually swam down by a whole lot of inferior and fake commodities in the marketplace.
Okay, so let's look at the causes of the proliferation of this fake product in our Nigerian market.
There are a number of reasons this happens. One will be greed. I would say greed, because a lot of people that manufacture fake goods are not poor people. The equipment you require, the equipment and technology you require to manufacture fake goods that look good are not cheap. This equipment run in the millions, right? So the people that do this, a lot of people that do this are not poor people. They're just too greedy, right? They want to make quick money and make loads of it, right? And so it's one point. Greed is one point. The other point is poverty, right? Because you see, a lot of the people in your neighborhood are also making fake gari, fake cassava. They're using substances in the commodities they sell. For example, I learned a couple of years ago, this is why for so many years I've not eaten akara, right? Unless it's made in my home. Because I found out, somebody told me that the women that fry akara on the roadsides mix up engine oil into the oil, the groundnut oil or palm kernel oil they use to fry the akara.
Engine oil.
That's right. The reason is to save cost, to make sure the oil doesn't, dry up fast. Because I did ask, why they do that. So they said it's more profitable that way. So the engine oil doesn't burn up fast. When you burn oil, it goes down.
Yes.
Right? So the engine oil doesn't burn up fast. So they mix it with some vegetable oils and use that to fry akara. It becomes more profitable for them because, of course, the sustainability of using gallons of engine oil every day to fry akara is daunting. I mean, it tells on their pockets.
How do people do this, knowing very well that oil contains harmful chemicals?
Exactly my point. Now, the point is, a lot of them are ignorant and don't know really that practice is dangerous to health. Some of them I want to believe are that ignorant, right? Because a lot of these people are not educated, right? And somebody probably taught them to do that, and so and the person would say, "No, worry, forget me, just do it," and they start doing it. Some other people know, but still do it because they want to make profit. I saw a video about last year or 2 years ago of somebody using a kind of chemical that I don't know the name now to fry groundnuts, right?
Yeah,
Did you see that video?
I saw something like that. Yes.
So
a chemical. So once you just pour the groundnut inside the chemical,
that's right. It
gets
fries it.
Yes.
Yes. So you see, then that person doesn't need to worry about charcoal or firewood or any of those things that goes into the proper way of frying. So they're trying to cut corners to get to their profit faster, right?
Yes.
So the point is, it's everywhere. So substandard goods and fake goods are not just with the manufactured goods. It's with the local things, dishes, the local condiments that we eat. Now, something as common as palm oil. I learned that these local women have learned to put uli. I don't know what you call uli in English. I don't know. It's a local cosmetic. It's a local seed. That olden days people used to beautify themselves, you know. They say uli, I don't know what it's called in English anyways, but I've learned that it's reddish in color.
Oh, okay.
And so if you put it in any kind of liquid, it turns red, right? Now to make their palm oil reddish, they put the uli there. But I guess they already may have mixed the palm oil with something else that knocks down the color of the palm oil. Now to get it back to the supposed color, they put uli. Right?
Yeah.
So you see, it's everywhere. People are just greedy. People are just mean. People are just demon possessed, I must say. Really, it's got to be that, because really, how do you put chemicals in stuff that people eat, knowing that this could lead to people's, death or sickness, and you continue to do it?
Some of them don't even use these things that they produce.
Some of them don't, because of course they know it's dangerous,
harmful.
right? So I want to say this in Igbo. Ogwego abro only when oge jello. Now, bedibia. Ogwego also means when you put stuff in food that people eat and they end up getting sick, but you make money in the process. It's also ogwego. It's evil,
yes.
Right? Now, I also want to talk about another product, cassava. I saw a write-up recently about cassava, right? And so I hear they now put potash in the process of making cassava. They put potash and they put hypo, right? So the write-up was saying that the hypo and the potash makes the cassava rise so that they can have more volume and then get more, money, right? But I don't think that's why they put the hypo. I think they put the hypo to kill the smell of the cassava. There are people who are worried about the smell of cassava.
The smell and also the color if it's
That's right. So
white.
I guess they put the hypo to probably kill the smell and get the cassava to become white, right? But this is evil. This is simply evil that people have to do this to fellow humans. And we sit down and call Buhari, call Tinubu, call the politicians. But you that is running your small business, what are you doing in that little enclave of yours? So when you poison people like that, you're as evil as the politician that's sitting there and stealing all our money. So there are a number of reasons, like I said. One is poverty, the other is ignorance. Now, the two main reasons I would say is because the NAFDAC and Standard Organization are simply not doing their jobs.
Yes, because that's, for me, since Monday that this report surfaced, I've been asking, where is NAFDAC?
They just woke up recently, and that's why this, trending news now. They just woke up recently to do this one.
And it's not as if these businesses, they just started recently.
They've been doing this. Ages. They've been doing it for years. I remember a couple of years ago when I talked about NAFDAC. I think it was me. Was it that me and Uche or Yagaze? And I talked about NAFDAC, And coincidentally, we had an event where NAFDAC and SON came, and I criticized them face to face. I gave it to them. I told them, you guys are not serious, because a lot of things are wrong with NAFDAC and SON. Number one is that they're not doing their jobs. Two, there's a high level corruption in these offices. What happens now that you've gone to crack down on these people? Instead of prosecute them, they'll settle you, they'll give you some money, and then you let them go. They'll go back to the same business. But then, because every time you do these things, you enable criminality. There has to be consequences to crime. Until we begin to punish crime and not pat it in the back, people won't stop committing crimes. So I want to say that the major problem is NAFDAC and SON. And SON is Standard Organization of Nigeria. They're simply not doing their jobs. Because like you pointed out, these practices have been going on for ages. Right? So what was NAFDAC doing? Are you talking about consumable goods? Look at the rods that we build our houses with. Chiamaka, look at the quality of cement that we use to build houses. You walk into a block molding factory, and you want to buy blocks. Out of every 10 you pick up, 6 will break up. Just by picking it up, it brittles and breaks up. Where is Standard Organization of Nigeria? And these buildings keep falling. And when the buildings fall, they will say, hey, where is the contractor? Go and catch the contractor. It's not just the contractor that is guilty. The guys that are making the blocks are guilty. What is the ratio of cement to sand
that you
use in the process of molding these blocks? All of these are part of Ogwego. It's really not funny. It's part of it.
It's not funny, honestly.
It's part of it. And so what is wrong with Nigerians? When did we come to this place where profit is now much more important than human life? And so even the people cooking food, the food that you eat, even the Akara women that I'm talking about, they never throw away their oil. What happens is that they keep topping like engine oil. Hey, God. They keep topping and topping and topping. Now, do you know that when you fry oil to a certain degree of heat, it becomes grease?
Okay.
That's why when you leave it it congeals.
It's congeals.
Because that heating process over time turns the oil to grease. Imagine what it does to the human body. So what they do the next day, if you watch these people, the next day when they try to fry, you see them scooping this oil from a container. It's just like Vaseline.
Yes.
From a container back into the frying pan to fry your akara. This is why a lot of people are dying of heart disease. This is why a lot of people are coming down with high blood pressure. This is why a lot of people have high levels of cholesterol. This is just the reason. But now the question is, you the consumer, why must you subject yourself to eating things that are unhealthy? But you mustn't buy akara on the street.
I won't blame the consumer.
No, I will. I will, because the point is, look at me, Chamaka. For years, I haven't eaten akara in over 5 years.
Outside?
Akara in general.
Okay.
Well, I don't eat fried stuff.
Okay.
That's for my health sake. I don't eat fried stuff. My kids can eat fried stuff because they're young children, right? But for my age, I don't need to eat fried stuff. I don't eat fried meat, not fried fish, not fried akara, nothing fried. I don't. Because the point is, it raises the cholesterol level in the body. You shouldn't be eating fried stuff,
okay,
right?
yeah,
Now, unless you're really ready to exercise and burn it off. But if you're
there
not
are other
doing,
ways to go about it.
if you're not doing that, stay away from it. But my point is this: I do not eat. I told you this yesterday. I said this on this show yesterday, that I don't eat off the street. I don't walk into a restaurant and decide to eat. I don't ever do it. So I don't ever stop somebody on your back. Hey, come and sell me out back. On your meat pie. I never do.
Don't even
I
know
never
where they
do.
prepare
Exactly
it,
my
what the
point.
environment is like.
Exactly my point. And none of these people, do this according to the rules. They all cut corners because their profit is more important to them. All these people that fry these donuts that you see, this meat pie on the street, they're all cutting corners. They're using saccharin instead of sugar. Right? Because saccharin sweetens the whole process. A lot of bread factories are using a bromate, potassium bromate, right? So they're using a whole lot of stuff. They're using different kinds of stabilizers and, how do you call it, preservatives.
Yeah.
Sodium benzoate and a whole lot of other stuff that are harmful to the body, right? Now, there's something else I wanted to point out to you. I just forgot now. But anyway, a lot of those things, street food that you see, are not healthy.
Okay, let's look at NAFDAC and so on. Let's look at the operations. Do you think they are so stiff, and by being that stiff, they encourage people to start cutting corners? Because from time to time, I've heard people saying that getting your product registered with NAFDAC is like
you have to go.
It's an endless journey.
It's more difficult than going to the grave to raise your grandfather.
Yes,
dead.
the process is long, and the money involved is not even something that is cheap. It's costly actually to get that NAFDAC registration number. So the process is a very long one. Do you think these also contribute to encouraging people to cut corners and start saturating our markets with adulterated products?
Great point. I really thank you for that, bringing up that point. It's a great point that you just raised right there. It's part of it. It's part of it, right? Because if you look at, like I said, some of the equipment used in this in the manufacture of these fake and substandard goods are expensive machines, right? So it's not that these people are doing it because they don't have the financial ability or the investment, the required investment to set up their factories. That's not the problem. The problem is that a lot of them actually have a passion to go into manufacturing and have the funds to do that. Some of them have actually gone to acquire these equipments needed, but NAFDAC has refused to give them the licenses. Probably because you've not settled NAFDAC or you've not given them enough. I'm saying it clearly, that is what it is, right? NAFDAC is corrupt. I've tried to, I do consultancy for the manufacturing industry, right? I do consultancy. Chamaka, don't tell me to, I'm going to say it like it is.
Okay.
I'm going to say it like it is.
Just go ahead.
The point is this. I've tried to get licenses for people, for some of my clients. I know how difficult it is to get a NAFDAC license. I told a story here, I think it was on this show, that I told you that sometimes for the people, I knew some people who wanted to import wine from Portugal, right? And so they told me to help them look into NAFDAC. I came in from Portugal myself to come and do that registration. Do you know that NAFDAC demanded that part of what we will bring is to pay millions of naira to sponsor a NAFDAC staff to go to Portugal and visit the factory? So for me to set up a business in Nigeria that will employ Nigerians and pay taxes, I had to send a NAFDAC staff on vacation to Portugal. That is crazy. That is high-level corruption. So that is on the part of manufacture importation, which I don't support. I support local manufacturing to create jobs and grow GDP. Now, for those who have decided they will set up factories and manufacture goods to employ our people, grow GDP, grow IGR, and stabilize the economy, NAFDAC is frustrating them. They will tell you to go and buy stainless equipment for this, buy that, rent this place, build a warehouse. I know people who have done all of this and still they don't have NAFDAC license. Wait for NAFDAC to come and do ordinary visitation. 2 years will pass, 3 years will pass, NAFDAC won't come. People in our community, this export community, have problems. They have equipment ready. Some of them have built their locations, properly equipped, waiting for NAFDAC. What do you expect that person who made such an investment? Some of them source these funds from the bank. And so to make that money and pay the bank back, what do? Cutting corners and going to manufacture without NAFDAC licenses. Some of them manufacture real goods that are healthy.
Yes.
Their only crime is that they don't have the NAFDAC license. And when NAFDAC cracks out on them, what NAFDAC will put out in the media is that they are fake goods manufacturers. They are not all fake goods manufacturers. Some of them, their only crime is that they haven't gotten the NAFDAC license, and NAFDAC has refused to give them those licenses. But there are people who are out, like I saw the video of the guys manufacturing wine.
Yes.
In stalls at Abba,
very
Market.
filthy environment.
Very dirty environment. Look, did you see the buckets?
Yes, I saw.
Did you see the scrub that they used to? Oh my goodness! And you wonder why people get sick.
Gory. Yes.
You know. So yes, to a large extent, NAFDAC refusing to do their job and release these licenses is part of why people do it, but it's not the only reason.
Yes.
Some people are just stupid. Some people are just ignorant and evil and greedy, and just want to make money the wrong way, right? So NAFDAC has a blame in the process. Greedy business people who want to just involve themselves in sharp practices are also, guilty. So we blame them all, right? Now, this is the situation. The situation is dire, right? The situation is bad. A lot of the goods that you see in the supermarkets and in the market are not fit for human consumption. So what I recommend NAFDAC will do is to, upscale what they just started doing.
Yes.
Don't just do it around Christmas period because you know that this is when you're going to have a high volume of fake goods in the market because everybody's buying. So it's a profitable season for businesses, right? Don't just do it in December. Do it all year round.
They should just continue with it.
That's right. Do it all year round. Put mechanism in place. Every market in this country should have a NAFDAC office. Every market in this town, in this country, should have a NAFDAC office. And that NAFDAC office should certify every commodity sold in these stores. That's why you're employed. That's why you're NAFDAC. You have to crack down on these things, right? Now, look at it. You're trying to stop local manufacturers from manufacturing. What about the fake ones, the ones imported?
The fake ones that are imported. Yes.
You have a lot of fake wine, fake drugs, fake snacks, a lot of fake stuff coming in from China, coming in from Indonesia, coming in from Bangladesh, coming in from India.
Perform magic and appear in Nigeria.
Somebody allowed them. Somebody cleared them.
How did they come in?
Somebody cleared them. It's that high-level corruption that I keep talking about. Now, these business people will go and settle some custom officials, settle some NAFDAC, because you had NAFDAC at the seaport.
Yes, we have them at the seaport.
They had to vet everything that comes in. But how do those things come in?
So if they are there, how are all the things coming in? What's happening?
So somebody took a kickback and let it come in.
Okay, so now
it's
NAFDAC and so on need an overhaul.
Trust me, it's some level of tummy rot. This is why they tried many times to kill Dora Konyele, because she gave them a hard time. She gave the drug people a hard time. She gave fake manufacturers a hard time, and they were out to kill her. I don't know if they succeeded, but that's the job she did. Now, after Dora Konyele left the NAFDAC job, I lost confidence in that establishment. I'll tell you the truth. I lost confidence in that establishment, right? Because really, our lives are on the line. Our lives are on the line. You allow these things, and one day it could be your cousin, you that works at NAFDAC. One day it could be your sister who is sick and ends up buying fake drugs. I heard that the reason Dora Konyele came out to do that work is that a sibling of hers or something like that died as a result of fake drugs. And so she decided she was going to battle fake drugs in Nigeria. Right? So you don't know who's going to consume the fake thing that you're allowing. I am encouraging NAFDAC. I'm pleading with NAFDAC and SON to please do their jobs. And you Nigerians who involve yourselves in these sharp practices, remember that life is sacred. You do not have a right to contribute to the death of a human being that you did not create. Right? Remember that when you're putting that chemical, and the thing I forgot about is that these ice creams are these bicycle people sell on the street.
Yeah, the saccharine.
Not just the saccharine. Do you know that they use something they call there's something thickener that they use to thicken paint?
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I've forgotten the name of the I know that chemical very well.
Okay.
You put it in the water now and you keep stirring. Before you know it, the water gets very thick, like even thicker than akam. They put that in the ice cream that people consume, right? Because they put some milk, some saccharine, and the ice cream is looking watery. What else do? They decide to put that chemical in, and before you know it thickens. It mixes it together, put some sugar, put some color and vanilla flavor, and then begin to sell.
And that reminds me of the time we had the rubber rice.
We still have those.
Yes.
I don't know if they make those in Nigeria, but we still have those. So, but the point is, we have two agencies that are supposed to ensure that these practices do not proliferate in the country, and that's NAFDAC and the Standard Organization of Nigeria. If they would do their job, I believe that these things will go away.